What does the end of a dream sound like? Is it a quiet whisper of resignation? The slam of a door? The tear of a resignation letter? Or does it sound like this? That was the sound of $100 million turning into smoke and fire over the Pacific Ocean. It was the sound of hundreds of engineers watching 3 years of their lives vanish in 3 seconds. For the man watching from Mission Control, it was the sound of his third consecutive failure. The sound of bankruptcy knocking at the door. He had just enough money for one more try. Most people, in that moment of absolute devastation, would collapse. But he was seen turning to his team and with a strange calmness, reportedly saying something to the effect of, "Well, at least we know what not to do." He didn't see the end of a dream. He saw data. So the question that haunts me, the question we will answer today, is not how he recovered. It is this. What kind of man smiles in the face of annihilation? Not because of blind hope, but because he is playing a completely different game than the rest of us. The man, of course, is Elon Musk. Today, that name is synonymous with the future. Tesla, the company that forced the entire automotive industry to go electric. SpaceX, the private entity that launches more rockets than most nations, catching and reusing them like something out of a sci-fi novel. A figure who commands the world's attention with a single tweet. A symbol of audacious, world-changing success. We see the billionaire. We see the icon. We see the result. And because we see the result, we tell ourselves a simple story. He worked hard. He was smart. He never gave up. It's the classic hero's journey we feed ourselves for a dose of daily motivation. But that story is boring. And worse, it's a lie. It's a comfortable simplification that robs us of the real lesson. The truth is far more chaotic, far more painful, and infinitely more interesting. It's a story about a philosophy forged in fire. This brings us to our big question for today. We are all taught that success is about finding the right answers. But what if the secret, the real key to changing the world, is about falling madly, obsessively in love with the right problems? Let's go back to that explosion. August 2nd, 2008. The Falcon 1 rocket. The third attempt. Forget the Elon of today. Picture this man. He is not a beloved visionary yet. He is a joke in the aerospace industry. A dot-com millionaire with a hobby. Giants like Boeing and Lockheed, with their billion-dollar government contracts, are laughing at him. The media is writing his corporate obituary. His other company, Tesla, is also hemorrhaging cash, a production nightmare they called production hell. He's sleeping on the factory floor, borrowing money just to make payroll. The pressure is immense, not just financially, but emotionally. Imagine looking into the eyes of 500 employees who have trusted you, who have left stable jobs to join your impossible quest, and knowing that their families' futures depend on this single launch. The first launch failed due to a fuel leak. The second, a control issue. Each time, a soul-crushing but understandable setback. But the third was different. It was almost perfect. The first stage separation was clean. For a moment, a wave of relief washed over Mission Control. They had done it. And then, catastrophe. The residual thrust from the first stage engine caused it to collide with the second stage. A design flaw. A tiny, overlooked detail that cascaded into total failure. In that moment of silence after the explosion, the real enemy wasn't the laws of physics. It wasn't the competition. The true, unexpected nemesis that Musk was fighting in that control room was an invisible force I call the gravity of reasonable. The gravity of reasonable is the seductive whisper that says, "You tried. It was a noble effort. Now, be sensible. Cut your losses. Go back to software. You can't fight the military-industrial complex. You can't reinvent a 50-year-old industry. It's impossible." It's the voice of every expert, every friend, every investor telling you to just stop. It's the immense, crushing weight of conventional wisdom. For most people, that gravity is inescapable. It pulls every dream back down to earth. And in that moment, facing financial ruin and public humiliation, Musk was at its point of maximum pull. The single, most critical decision he made wasn't technical, it was philosophical. He chose to defy that gravity. He chose to stay hard. So what's the lesson here? Never give up? No, that's too simple. A gambler never gives up, and he usually ends up with nothing. The real lesson, the one that breaks the conventional motivational mold, is this. Your goal is not to avoid explosions. Your goal is to get so good at learning from them that they become your greatest competitive advantage. While everyone else was focused on Musk's failure, he was focused on the data. The third explosion, as devastating as it was, gave him the one final, critical piece of information he needed. He didn't see $100 million lost. He saw a $100 million lesson that no one else in the world had learned. He was now, quite literally, the world's leading expert on how not to build a reusable rocket. This is the beginning of a true abundance mindset. It's the belief that even in total loss, there is invaluable gain, if you have the discipline to look for it. He wasn't just building a rocket. He was building a learning machine. The company that could learn from its mistakes the fastest would inevitably win. To understand why he could think this way, we have to rewind. Not to his childhood, but to the moment he received his payout from PayPal, around $180 million. What do you do with that kind of money? Buy an island? A fleet of supercars? Retire at 31? That's the reasonable thing to do. Musk did something utterly unreasonable. He took nearly all of it and split it between two ventures the world thought were insane. An electric car company, Tesla, and a rocket company, SpaceX. He didn't just risk his money, he risked his entire reputation on problems everyone else had given up on. Why? Because his entire operating system, his core philosophy, is built on something he calls first principles thinking. It sounds complex, but it's beautifully simple. Most people reason by analogy. We do things because that's how other people are doing them. That's how we've always done them. It's mental copy-pasting. First principles thinking is the act of boiling things down to their fundamental, undeniable truths. The things you are sure are true, and then reasoning up from there. For rockets, the analogy was, rockets are expensive because they've always been expensive. That's it. That was the thinking. Musk's first principles approach was different. He asked, what is a rocket made of? Aerospace-grade aluminum alloys, titanium, copper, carbon fiber. What is the value of those materials on the commodity market? He discovered that the cost of the raw materials was only about 2% of the typical price of a rocket. The other 98% was a premium on how it's always been done. And in that 98%, he saw his opportunity. He wasn't trying to build a cheaper rocket. He was trying to build a rocket from the ground up, based only on the laws of physics and economics. This required intense study motivation and a commitment to deep self-development. Now, let's apply my flaw spotlight technique to make this real. This intense, physics-based thinking makes him an incredible engineer, but it also reveals a profound flaw. Musk has been famously, and often justifiably, criticized for a lack of emotional intelligence. He is obsessed with the problem. He sees the world as a set of physical variables to be solved. He struggles to compute the emotional variables of the people working on the problem. The fatigue, the fear, the burnout. His focus is so absolute on the what and why that the who can sometimes become secondary. This isn't an excuse for poor behavior, but it's a crucial insight. It shows that his greatest strength, his inhuman ability to detach from emotion and focus on the raw problem, is inextricably linked to his most human and criticized weakness. It makes the genius mortal. So how can we, who aren't trying to build rockets, use this? This isn't just a motivational concept, it's a practical tool. Here is a simple, 3-step formula for applying first principles to your own life, your career, your personal development. Step 1. Identify a core assumption. Pick a belief you hold that defines your limits. For example, I need a prestigious degree to be successful in my field. Or, I'm too old to start a new career. Or, I have to work 80 hours a week to create wealth. Step 2. Deconstruct the physics. Break that assumption down into its fundamental truths. What is a degree? It's a signal of knowledge and discipline. What is success? It's creating value that others will pay for. What is too old? It's a belief about learning capacity and energy. Challenge every component. Is a degree the only signal of knowledge? Can value be demonstrated through a portfolio, a project, a skill? Is learning capacity truly fixed by age? Step 3. Rebuild from the truths. Now, from these raw truths, build a new path. If the goal is to signal knowledge and value, maybe the path isn't a $200,000 degree, but a 6-month intensive project where you build something amazing and document the process. If you want wealth creation, instead of just working more hours, you might find the truth is about creating scalable systems or assets. This framework is your tool to escape the gravity of reasonable. It's how you achieve clarity and design your own purpose-driven life. Let's go back to where we started. The fire, the silence, the man watching his dream disintegrate. And his words, well, at least we know what not to do. Now, we understand. That wasn't the statement of a desperate gambler. It wasn't blind optimism. It was the calm, rational assessment of a scientist who had just paid $100 million for the most valuable piece of data in the world. He wasn't mourning the loss of a rocket. He was grateful for the clarity the failure provided. The explosion wasn't an obstacle on his path. The explosion was the path. Learning from it was the entire point. Just 6 weeks later, on September 28, 2008, the fourth Falcon 1 rocket launched. It reached orbit perfectly. It was the first time a privately funded liquid-fueled rocket had ever done so. That single success, born from the ashes of 3 catastrophic failures, saved SpaceX. It led to the NASA contracts that saved Tesla. It changed the world. The ultimate message of Elon Musk's story isn't about becoming a billionaire or going to Mars. It's about changing your relationship with failure. It's about the profound inner peace that comes when you stop chasing perfect outcomes and instead fall in love with solving meaningful problems. The mess, the struggle, the explosions, they are not signs you are losing. They are signs you are in the arena, fighting for something that matters. It's a spiritual journey of self-development, where the obstacle is truly the way. You have to stay hard. This is the abundance mindset in its purest form. It's the understanding that growth doesn't come from a life devoid of problems, but from a life full of problems you are worthy of tackling. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be persistent in your philosophy and your discipline. You just need to be ready to fly. So I ask you, what is the third explosion in your life right now? What is the failure you're terrified of? And what if, instead of the end, it's actually the most valuable piece of data you've ever received? Thank you for listening. If this story resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And in the comments below, tell us about a failure that taught you more than a success. I read every one. Subscribe for more stories that challenge the way we think about success. Until next time, be grateful for the data.